Now at 5 and streaming on crossroadstoday.com, an overnight fire destroys a mobile home, displacing 3 people. Plus, a stabbing at a local high school sends a 14-year-old to the hospital. And a former officer is suing the El Campo Police Department after a grand jury failed to indict him.
We're looking forward to our cool front that comes in tomorrow, but tonight we start looking at Tropical Storm Helene. Looks like it's still going to be Florida, getting hammered by Thursday. We'll have all the latest coming up in a moment.
Plus, a man is in the Wharton County Jail on a human smuggling charge. You're watching 25 News now at 5. Good afternoon and thanks for being with us. I'm Shawna Currie. The Victoria Independent School District and local law enforcement held a joint press conference today to address the recent string of threats by students. Victoria County Sheriff Justin Marr and other local leaders were there. They say these threats are being taken seriously and they could result in a student facing a misdemeanor or even a felony. Sheriff Marr says his office has detained 12 students in 6 weeks. That's 2 incidents per week, keeping his deputies busy. And just as the VISD held that press conference, the sheriff's office had 2 more incidents in the district today. One involved a stabbing at West High School, which sent a student to the hospital. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting joins us with the details. Trenton.
Thanks, Shawna. Today, Sheriff Marr confirmed a stabbing incident on the Victoria West High School campus that left a 14-year-old student in the hospital. Sheriff Marr says the student's injuries were not serious and the student is expected to make a full recovery. He also says his deputies detained a 15-year-old student in connection with what he described as an assault. Sheriff Marr did not reveal what was used as the weapon. The West High School campus was placed on a hold while law enforcement handled the incident. A hold means students and staff must remain in their classrooms and parents are not allowed to check students out, and parents should not go to the campus during that time. The sheriff's office also responded to an incident at Victoria East High School today. We've reached out for additional information on both incidents and are waiting to hear back. Shawna, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Trenton. Well, 3 people are displaced after an early morning house fire. This happened just after 2 this morning in the 100 block of West Crestwood. The mobile home is a total loss. Victoria Fire Chief George Gomez says a window air conditioning unit overheating is believed to have caused the fire. The Victoria Fire Department will be collecting smoke detectors to safeguard homes throughout Victoria. Through the month of October, as part of Fire Prevention Month, collection boxes will be set up at both Victoria Walmart stores. Residents can donate new smoke detectors by simply dropping them in those collection bins. Fire Chief George Gomez says the department's goal is to put a smoke alarm in 90% of Victoria homes within the next 3 years. You can also request a smoke detector if you're needing one by contacting the Fire Marshal's office at 361-485-3460. Victoria police arrest a 39-year-old man on 3 charges. Christopher Smith of Bloomington is charged with unlawful possession of a firearm by a felon, prohibited weapon, and possession of drugs. He's in the Victoria County Jail on $60,500 total bond. A 37-year-old man is in the Wharton County Jail on a human smuggling charge. Rogelio Ibarra of Fremont was arrested by DPS. He is being held on $15,000 bond. Texas is set to execute Travis James Mullis tonight, a Brazoria County man who sexually assaulted, strangled, and stomped on his infant son's head until he died in 2008. You can read the full Texas Tribune article by visiting our website, crossroadstoday.com. A former El Campo police officer is suing the El Campo Police Department. Freddie Douglas was fired last December after he was arrested on a rape accusation. Last March, a Brazoria County grand jury declined to indict Douglas on the allegations, and Douglas is now suing for wrongful termination and discrimination. He is asking for back pay, interest on back pay, damages for emotional pain and suffering, and more. The suit claims the decision to fire Douglas was racially motivated. The Texas Commission on Environmental Quality is holding a public meeting tonight on a proposed water use permit that would divert water from the Lavaca River. The application was filed by the Lavaca Navidad River Authority, or LNRA. If approved, the permit will allow LNRA to build and maintain a dam and reservoir that will supply water for municipal, industrial, and mining purposes in Calhoun, Jackson, Matagorda, Wharton, and Victoria counties. The meeting tonight begins at 7 p.m. at the Edna High School auditorium. And that brings us to today's viewer poll. Should LNRA build a dam to divert and store water for industrial use? Yes or no? We want to hear from you. Scan the QR code there or visit crossroadstoday.com/vote to cast your vote. And it looks like right now, overwhelmingly, 73% of you say that no, the permit should not be approved. So we'll have the latest results on 25 News Now at 6. Well, now let's take a first look at your First Warn Storm Team forecast with Chief Meteorologist Mac Perez. Mac, what's going on outside?
Well, it's a pretty nice day out there, a little on the warm side, a little humid, but that cool front is still headed on its way. The first one sort of fell apart, but you can see how the winds are kind of taking everything in that direction. Our cool front is up here in the Panhandle. That'll be rolling through tomorrow afternoon. It may have a few little showers with it. I don't expect anything significant, severe or anything like that, but it will bring us some drier air and some very pleasant weather for the end of the week. We'll have all that coming up in a moment. Back to you, Shawna.
All right, thanks a lot, Mac. Well, Spring Creek Road will close tomorrow for brush and weed clearing along the right-of-way. The closure will be from Main Street to the bridge area from 8:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Residents in that area will still have access to their home. Drivers can avoid delays if you're through traffic by seeking alternate routes. Well, surveillance video shows a suspected thief caught on camera stealing a brand new iPhone 16 off a porch. Police in Deer Park suspect this theft spree could be part of a much larger operation.
Tonight, exclusive new surveillance video obtained by KHOU 11 shows a suspected thief exiting her rental car and running up to a Deer Park apartment, snatching a brand new iPhone 16 that had just been delivered right off the porch. The young woman in the video, identified as 18-year-old Iyanna Perry. She and her alleged accomplice, David Dye, are in custody tonight. Deer Park police say the duo flew in from Chicago last Friday and started stealing packages containing iPhone 16s from AT&T customers.
Violated. Absolutely violated.
In nearby Cypress, Lindsay Lorio had her brand new iPhone 16 snatched off the porch too.
It was right here behind the brick pillar.
Surveillance video captured the moment it happened.
Someone had the nerve to walk onto my porch with no repercussions and just pick up the package like they owned it.
The thief then gets in the passenger seat of a white sedan and drives off.
We all work hard for our money to pay for nice things, and that just went down the drain.
Lindsay now wondering if this could all be connected.
It is very ironic that within an hour of it being delivered, they knew exactly where to go on my porch to pick it up.
Deer Park police suspect their two cases could indeed be connected to others. They know Perry and Dye spent time casing neighborhoods in Deer Park, LaPorte, Katy, and communities in Fort Bend County. The big question, how the two suspects in custody obtained the info to find their targets.
Stay in Chicago. Stay out of Houston. We have enough crime here that we don't need anybody else coming down to hurt us or to take from us, to steal from us.
A burn ban is now in effect for Lavaca County. Lavaca County commissioners issued the burn ban on Monday. This is the second burn ban in Lavaca County for this year. The first ended on August 30th. Any person may be fined up to $500 if they are caught burning in any unincorporated areas of Lavaca County. Well, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. While you're there, hit the like button and click the notification bell, and you'll be sure to receive alerts when we upload new stories. Well, stay with us. Straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, President Biden addresses world leaders at the UN General Assembly, highlighting foreign policy legacy amid global conflicts. Also ahead, Instagram implements major changes to improve safety for young users amid growing concerns.
Hi, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs with the Victoria Police Department. Victoria Crime Stoppers is seeking information concerning an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. On August 27, 2024, a 27-year-old black male was shot at the 300 block of Sam Houston Drive. The victim was transported to the hospital in a private vehicle. The suspects were described to be one female and two males. One male was wearing a green hoodie and the other male was wearing a black hoodie. Both males were wearing masks. The subjects possibly left the location in a silver or gray Nissan. If you have any information about this aggravated assault, please call Victoria Crime Stoppers at 361-572-4200. You can also submit a tip by using the P3 Tip app on your Android or Apple device, or by visiting our website at www.crimestoppersvictoria.com. All tips are anonymous, and if you give information that leads to an arrest or charges being filed, you could earn a cash reward. With Victoria Crime Stoppers, I'm Detective Kelly Gibbs.
Vice President Kamala Harris plans to visit the U.S.-Mexico border in Arizona on Friday. This comes as Harris tries to close the polling gap with former President Trump on the topic of immigration, a key issue in the presidential campaign. Her campaign plans to use this trip to push back on GOP attacks over Harris not visiting the border enough. The Arizona trip comes with border crossings at their lowest level since 2020, and new polling shows Trump leading in the battleground state. Well, President Biden speaking to world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly in New York today for the last time. His final address focused on cementing his foreign policy legacy under the cloud of multiple wars. ABC's Rena Roy has the latest.
President Biden delivering his final address to the UN General Assembly today, rallying world leaders to come together and tackle some of the biggest challenges.
I truly believe we're at another inflection point in world history. For the choices we make today will determine our future for decades to come.
The president has said seeing an end to Israel's war with Hamas is a top priority before he leaves office. But ceasefire negotiations have stalled and tensions have risen with fears of a wider conflict in the region.
I put forward with Qatar and Egypt a ceasefire and hostage deal. Now is the time for the parties to finalize its terms, bring the hostages home, and secure security for Israel and Gaza free of Hamas' grip, ease the suffering in Gaza, and end this war.
Biden also doubling down on support for Ukraine at war with Russia. Just today, Ukraine's Air Force saying Russia launched an attack sending 81 Iranian drones into Ukraine.
We cannot grow weary. We cannot look away. And we will not let up on our support for Ukraine. Not until Ukraine wins a just and durable peace.
The speech marking his last chance to address world leaders. Biden using the opportunity to highlight his accomplishments as president.
Let us never forget, some things are more important than staying in power. It's your people. It's your people that matter the most.
Biden is scheduled to meet with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu will also be in town this week, but at this time there are no plans for he and Biden to meet. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Instagram is rolling out major changes to protect young users. Starting today, accounts for users under age 18 will automatically switch to private with strict messaging controls. Only people that they're already connected with can message them, tag them, or mention them in comments. The app will also limit what content teens can see, and after an hour of use, will send limit reminders. Notifications will be muted between 10 at night and 7 in the morning. These changes come after mounting criticism over the risks social media poses for teens, particularly following a whistleblower's revelations last year. It's a leading cause of injury and death for young children. Certain nursery products are linked to unsafe sleep environments. And a new report in honor of Baby Safety Month shows the danger is still there despite efforts to make parents aware. Today's Health Minute has a look at the data and what every parent should know to keep children safe.
It remains a dangerous problem. The latest data from the Consumer Product Safety Commission shows there were 523 deaths associated with nursery products reported among children under 5 between 2019 and 2021. 76% of those deaths were linked to cribs, mattresses, bassinets and cradles, playpens, play yards, incline infant sleep products, and infant carriers.
It's really not surprising that these products have been associated with unsafe sleep deaths.
Dr. Manisha Agarwal with Children's Healthcare of Atlanta says babies need their own dedicated, firm, flat sleep surface. The CPSC says to use only products intended for sleep that meet federal requirements and make sure that sleep space is bare with nothing but a fitted sheet.
So no blankets, no pillows, no stuffies.
If a child falls asleep in a place not made for sleep, including car seats outside of the vehicle and incline products with an angle greater than 10 degrees, like rockers, gliders, and swings, transfer them to a safe sleep surface.
We have to remember that just because it looks like it might be comfortable for your child doesn't mean that it's necessarily safe.
Finally, always place a baby to sleep on their back to reduce the risk of sudden unexpected infant death syndrome and suffocation. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Nice and sunny afternoon. Didn't have much shower activity today. Actually, it's all south of us right about now. We're still on the warm side of things, 95. It feels like 101. And our high temperature, well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be 95, but we're supposed to be at 89 because, you know, it's the first week of fall. Well, we're going to be getting there as we get into the latter half of this week because of the cool front. And then, of course, we'll have the latest on Helene coming up in a moment. Stay tuned. Well, welcome back, everybody. We had a few little sprinkle showers to the north of us up toward Ganado and Wharton, and then all the big stuff is actually down south of our area. I don't know why it all concentrated south of Corpus Christi. You can see how they're getting much heavier shower activity down there, all the way down. Of course, that's the moisture and the heating. But all of this is going to change tomorrow when the cool front gets here. When does it get here? Well, it'll be about noontime. I'll tell you when you feel it, when you feel that north wind blowing. That'll be cooler, drier air coming in and blowing away all this humidity. We actually had this frontal system in central Texas. It fell apart, but the big one is out behind it. And this is being pushed by this big ridge of high pressure. It's going to roll down into our area and give us a very pleasant couple of days. Now, there'll be cool nights down into the 60s and comfortable days. It'll be sunny, but in the mid upper 80s, not bad at all for this time of the year. This is good stuff. And of course, then the big question, will it, actually knock the temperature down? Well, it will, but only about maybe 10 degrees. We're looking at tomorrow about a 93 before the front comes through. And then you can see the 80s that are occurring throughout all of North Texas. Is finally reasonable up there. That reasonable air will be blowing down here, and we'll have it for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So now let's go to the tropics. It's so funny. Here's the Gulf of Mexico. Here we are. We can almost see that stuff, but it's not coming in our direction, courtesy of the front. That front is really going to help keep that away. Now, Helene's center is right about here, but everybody's in very sharp agreement that it'll start rolling up, increase to a Category 1, possibly get up to a 3 in the open Gulf. And then as it starts touching land, it'll start decreasing maybe to a 2 or a 1, but still, that's 100-mile-an-hour winds and torrential rainfall. And of course, the most dangerous part of a hurricane is the storm surge. Okay, you can deal with the rain, you can deal with the wind, but if the water starts rising, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go? And of course, that is a big concern. This is coming in on Thursday night, and then Friday it'll be already into Atlanta. As you can see it right about there. So Apalachicola, Tampa Bay, all that area. If you know anybody in that region, you better tell them to get ready. Now, we look at the bigger picture. We're just, I'm excited because we're getting fronts. But the tropics have not decided to settle down. That's why I told you earlier in the year that we'll keep seeing things boiling up. And you can see 1, 2, 3 possible systems developing out there. But because of our frontal systems, the chances are getting real slim that it'll move in our direction. Well, Hurricane John came in, and you're not going to believe this. Another major hurricane rolled over Acapulco. They're still picking up the pieces from Otis, and they got slammed yesterday with John. John is now falling apart. It's down to 35 miles an hour because of here. There's a big, huge mountain range, Sierra Madre, and that helped knock it down. But that rainfall that occurs in those mountainous areas is just treacherous. All right. Will we see any kind of rain in the future? Well, there you see the map. It's all going to be on the East Coast. For tomorrow in Port Lavaca, we're looking for a high of 92. In Cuero, looking for a high of 92 as well. And that's before the front. Then the front comes through, the north wind comes in, and things will be really nice for the latter half of the week. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. We look forward to you scanning that with your phone and putting Crossroads Today on your phone. Here's Shawna.
All right, thanks, Mac. Looks like Mother Nature finally got the memo that fall has officially begun. Well, coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we'll take a look at how stocks fared today. Plus, U.S. home prices hit a record high for the 14th consecutive month. Taking a look at today's stocks, the Dow closed up 84 points, the S&P 500 up 14 points, and the Nasdaq up 100 points. Oil is up $1.17, closing at $71.54 per barrel. Fewer low-income students are applying for college financial aid after the botched rollout of an updated version of the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA. The rollout was plagued by delays, numerous technical glitches, and administrative mistakes. Congress's nonpartisan Government Accountability Office says FAFSA submissions for the current school year were down 3% compared to the year before. Both Republican and Democratic lawmakers have criticized the Department of Education's rollout of the new version of FAFSA. As U.S. home prices hit a record high in July for the 14th month in a row, the latest S&P CoreLogic Case-Shiller U.S. National Home Price Index was released today. The index rose 5% in July from a year earlier. Low inventory has been pushing home prices up for decades, but it's not all bad news for prospective home buyers. The pace of home price growth in July continued to slow down. Also, mortgage rates are down. At last check, the average 30-year fixed-rate mortgage was at its lowest level since early 2023. Well, stay with us. When we come back, we'll take one last look at your forecast. Plus, a Plano rescue saves injured wildlife, giving them a second chance. And here's a look at what's coming up on World News Tonight, right after 25 News Now at 5.
Tonight, President Biden's final address to world leaders, the Middle East crisis, the war in Ukraine, and the race for president. Harris, Trump, where this race stands. World News Tonight with David Muir is America's most watched newscast.
Tonight, have you ever found an abandoned baby bird or maybe an injured squirrel and wondered how you could help? Well, a wildlife rescue in Plano helps answer that question every day, offering hope to animals who might not otherwise survive. The North Texas Wildlife Center, led by Rebecca Hamlin and more than 100 volunteers, treats animals of all shapes and sizes, many of them orphans or victims of accidents. Open year-round, the center helps animals heal and return to the wild, providing a second chance at life. So, looks like raccoons, there's a little baby skunk.
Yeah. Well, half the challenge would be actually catching them, you know. They're not exactly friendly to humans. There's not that much interaction, yeah. But I guess if they're injured, they're going to want to see some help. And
a little bit easier when they're little like
tiny
that.
Little bitties like that. Yeah, that's
babies,
true. That's
so.
True. Yeah, we've had our share of raccoons and possums at the house.
Yes, we have lots of birds in our yard.
Birds are good. They come in and they fly through. Well, folks, we are waiting for our frontal system. It comes in tomorrow afternoon. You'll know it when the north wind comes in knocking at your door. It's not going to be excessively windy, but it will be breezy from the north. And by Thursday, boy, we are going to look at some very cool mornings. Well, not very cool, but down into the low 60s will be nice, and then getting up into the mid 80s. And the weekend's looking spectacular. If you've got any plans outdoors, I would proceed with reckless abandon. You know, that's what I would do.
All right. So the main thing is that the humidity is going to get knocked down.
With low humidity, it's very comfortable. You can live through anything with low humidity.
All right. Well, definitely looking forward to it. Well, thanks for being with us. Join us back here for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is next.